What's up, everybody? Tom Pelissero here across the street from Vikings headquarters on Friday, shortly after the team wrapped up its final practice before Sunday's home opener against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Obviously, the developing story here over the past 48 hours has been E.J. Henderson and the knee that swelled up before yesterday's practice. EJ really downplayed that. We talked to him in the locker room today. He said he's pretty confident that he's going to be able to go out and play on Sunday. And that would be pretty big for a team that, if you look at their linebacker depth, it's really taken some hits of late. You have Jasper Brinkley landing on injured reserve 2 weeks ago. You cut Heath Farwell, who's not a guy that you want to play defense, but at least has played some snaps in the league, and you could throw in there in a pinch. Now they're working Aaron Henderson at middle linebacker, where Jasper would normally be EJ's backup. You have Kenny Onatalu, who missed almost the entire preseason and training camp with a stress fracture in his foot and did not look good in the preseason finale. He was working at the weak side spot. Getting EJ Henderson on the field is going to be pretty important for the Vikings on Sunday. But let's look at the other side of this, the offense. And obviously coming off of a very putrid performance, to say the least, particularly in the second half against the San Diego Chargers. Bill Musgrave took a lot of the blame on himself yesterday, maybe more than he should have. He wasn't going to take a shot at the offensive line or the quarterback or the receivers or the tight ends, even though I think that it's safe to say that there is room for improvement in all those areas. But what he said was he needs to get Donovan McNabb in rhythm. They need to find a way to get McNabb in rhythm. And one of the things that the Chargers did a good job of taking away was the bootleg passes, the sprint outs, the rollouts, the things that McNabb does well and that do get him in rhythm. If I were the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I would try to take those things away as well. Don't let McNabb get outside the pocket comfortably. Make him stand in and throw the football down the field. But what I wouldn't be surprised if Bill Musgrave does is go to almost a West Coast type of offense early on in the game. Use Percy Harvin more out of the slot. Yeah, they used him in the backfield some. They tried to manufacture some touches. Obviously, they tried to run a one-step route on the backside of a designed running play on the very first play of the game. That ended up being a disaster, but get Percy in there and have him catch some slants. Get the short passes to Michael Jenkins. Continue to utilize that short passing game. Now, if you're Tampa Bay, you want to play press coverage on the edges and make the Vikings try to beat you over the top. Maybe play less Tampa 2 than the Buccaneers normally do. If I were any team in the NFL, any defense in the NFL, I would dare the Vikings to go over the top. I would make sure you're not going to get the underneath stuff. But if you're the Vikings, and if your goal is to make sure that McNabb gets some sort of rhythm and some sort of confidence going forward, then the best way to do that is going to be with the short passing game. Figure out what the defense is doing and be able to adjust. I think if there's one criticism, and I'll never criticize play calling specifically because it's based on reams of data and information that I don't have access to, and these guys study it, and this is not willy-nilly play calling when it comes to game day. But the ability to adjust obviously is going to be a huge factor in the NFL. And when the Chargers started taking certain things away, Musgrave and the offense didn't react as quickly as they could have. This is a big game for both Bill Musgrave and Donovan McNabb. If you look at them, there are some corollaries between how both those guys and some of their recent opportunities have had some trouble. Bill Musgrave, to go back to his stint in Carolina that only lasted a few games as offensive coordinator before he left there. In Jacksonville, he didn't have a lot of success. Donovan McNabb, obviously the lost season in Washington and the way that he was really kicked around for a lot of years in Philadelphia, even when he played well in Philadelphia. Both these guys have a lot to prove. That doesn't win you football games, but both of them have a lot on the line going forward here. 2 games at home. The last thing that the Vikings need, and the McNabb needs, and Bill Musgrave needs, and Leslie Frazier needs, is the Boo Birds to come out if this offense isn't effective on Sunday. It's imperative that they get going early and often in this game. You're going to get a heavy dose of Adrian Peterson, but don't be surprised if that short passing game gets going as well. I'll be there, and of course having full coverage all the time at 1500ESPN.com. See ya.